So it's wintertime here in Kentucky, right? Which means I've been trapped inside because of weather that looks like this. Yeah, it sucks. So what do you do in these situations when you still have that itch?
It's 5 o'clock.
Did I miss a 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
Tyrone, these are your friends here. They have something they'd like to say to you.
You don't do crack. You just find a drone small enough to fly indoors. Sure, but what drone? The Flylens 75. And I'm gonna tell you all about it. Oh, it's naked. So for those who are just getting into FPV, tiny whoops are a great way to hone your skills as a pilot. They're often cheaper, don't require too much maintenance, safer due to having prop guards, usually about 1 to 2 inches in size, and quieter. But what's special about the Flylens 75? Let's take a look inside the box. In the box, you'll find the drone packaged beautifully with it wrapped in plastic and protected in foam. Which is actually kind of surprising because the packaging for my Nazgul and Manta felt like they were kind of just thrown in the box, but nothing was broke, so no harm, no foul. You also get contact information for customer support, a diagram of the Goku AIO, a DJI O3 Air Unit like quick start guide or whatever, some Firefly 1S Nano Baby V2 battery TPU mounts that came complimentary upon purchase, these propellers, and this is probably the most organized bag I have ever came across. It comes with a screwdriver, a sticker, a sponge pad for the bottom of the O3 Air Unit. It comes with 2 battery mounts as well, one 1000 milliamp, one 550 milliamp, and the 750 milliamp that I have is currently attached to the drone itself right now. It comes with a very organized bag of a lot of screws, some rubber ball dampeners for the 3-point suspension for the camera. It also comes with a right angle USB connector for the O3 Air Unit as well, because it's a little bit cramped, but this makes it so much easier. And at the bottom of the box right here, you're going to get a diagram of the Flylens frame. And underneath the diagram, you're going to find even more stickers. And if you haven't noticed yet, this thing is very, very tiny and it's very, very light. And it's light because they've completely stripped down the O3 Air Unit and its camera, as you can see here. And for those that don't know, this version of the O3 Air Unit was released by Flywoo, and the whole point of decasing the O3 Air Unit was to preserve weight for drones like this that are meant to be super small and light, which leads to increased performance. And if you do want to go with this version of the O3 Air Unit with the Flylens, it's going to come with this little lens protector right here to protect your camera if you should crash into anything. Flywoo also made ND filters for the naked camera, and they come in a set of 3. Including an ND4, ND8, and ND16. And you're also going to get a wipe right here to clean them off. If we take a look at the frame holding the O3 camera, it's using these shock absorbing balls to mitigate any vibration. Which I think is a pretty dope way to go about mitigating vibration to the camera. They call it 3-point shock absorption. The motors are Robo 1003s and have a 19,800 kV. The props are 4-blade 1609s, and that's all protected by these prop guards here, which are pretty sturdy and slightly flexible. And these prop guards will also be out of camera frame if you're worried about that at all. The motor arms have 2 different mounting screw patterns that accommodate 2 different size screws that you can use. One being 6.6 millimeters and the other being 9 millimeters. So you can use different motors if you like. At the top right here, there's going to be this little USB port, which is going to give you access to the flight controller if you need to get into beta flight. This thing also has a beeper, which I did not expect on this small of a drone, so it's pretty cool. And the overall size of the drone is 107.3 millimeters. You can purchase the Flylens from the Flywoo website, and they have a few options for you to pick from. They have a RunCam Wasp option, Walk Snail, HD0, and the regular O3 unit, and of course, the O3 Lite. Your receiver options are going to be TBS Crossfire, ELRS, DJI Bind and Fly, or plug and play if you want to add your own receiver. They also have an extensive list of accessories to pick from and propellers if you need to replace anything. And Pyro Drone also sells a frame kit too if you prefer that website. Flywoo recommends that you use a 1000 milliamp hour battery for optimal flight time, which would be around 6 minutes or so, and these came in a pack of 2 and I ordered them to be sent with the drone. They also have 750 milliamp hour batteries you can use that also come in a pack of 2. I also purchased the 550 milliamp hour R-Line Tattoo battery, which because of its size has to be used with the 750 milliamp hour battery strap for the drone, so heads up. Alright, so the weight of the drone with no battery is 70 grams. With the 550 milliamp hour battery, we're looking at 102 grams. With the 750 milliamp hour battery, we're looking at 106 grams. And when we add a 1000 milliamp hour battery, we're looking at 117 grams. For the first flight, I used a 1000 milliamp hour battery, and yes, I'm going to be flying outside because quite frankly, I'm trash at flying indoors right now, and I've waited weeks for there to be nice days to fly, so we outside, bruh. For the camera settings, I'm recording in 4K 16:9 with a shutter speed of 1/120 and an ISO of either 100 or 200. I forgot exactly which one, but whatever one it is, it's locked, and I have an ND4 filter on the camera as well. It was pretty cold with the wind being 8 to 10 miles per hour, so at some points you may see a little bit of jello, but for the most part it was a pretty smooth flight. On a few of the flights I did, I noticed some slight prop wash, but let's be real, why would you use this drone to freestyle, right? In most cases, you'll be flying low and slow, so I tried to just cruise for most of the flight footage taken, outside of my terrible tiny whoop freestyle skills you might see. The flight time was pretty good. I got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Had I been flying slower and doing less tomfoolery, I probably could have flown another 2 to 3 minutes, but I'm not mad at all. The battery packs a good bit of power, and I think if I were to be flying with a steeper angle, this thing would probably be getting up, man. It's kind of wanting to go every time I just press the throttle. For the second flight, I'm using a 750 milliamp hour battery. All of the camera settings are the same and the weather conditions are the same as well. I'm not sure why, but I like the feel of the 750 milliamp hour battery more than the 1000 milliamp hour battery. It most likely has to do with the weight of the 1000 milliamp hour battery in comparison to the 750. The flight was a good balance of just enough speed and being agile enough in the air without feeling like I'm gonna fall out the sky if I have to let go of the throttle at some point. I'd imagine if you're flying indoors doing real estate or anything like that, this would be the battery you'd want to go with. It's not too powerful, doesn't weigh too much, but it's just right and allows for really steady throttle control. For this flight, I'm using a 550 milliamp hour battery. I filmed this on a different day than the other two flights, and the wind gusts were up to 13 miles per hour, so there's noticeably more jello on the screen this time around. All of the camera settings were the same except for the ISO, which was set to 400. The flight was kind of underwhelming to me. The battery just felt really underpowered, and it seemed as if it was kind of hard to get some decent momentum going. I could see this being your battery of choice if you're just starting out and want something super easy to handle, or if you need to fly in a super tight space at a very, very slow rate of speed. It's still enjoyable though, and it provides a nice relaxing cruise if you want to kick back for about 3 minutes or so. Now I did mention tiny whoops are a great way to learn how to fly. The caveat to that is learning how to fly indoors, and I kind of struggle with this, especially coming from bigger drones. You really have to focus on throttle control and maneuvering within really tight spaces, but once you get the hang of that, you should be pretty good. And I also recommend learning how to fly indoors on angle mode. I know angle mode isn't the most fun, but it'll help you really get the hang of controls in a smaller enclosed space. And if you want to expedite the learning process, Steam has a Liftoff Micros version that you can get early access to if you want to try that out. As for my dislikes, when I was flying around my home, I did crash, and the rubber grommets holding the camera in place for the shock absorption actually came undone, and they're extremely difficult to get back in place. In fact, I don't even think you're supposed to reinstall them. I think you're just supposed to install new ones, which either way is a complete headache. And I put a video in the description for how to do that to save you some time and headache. The second thing that I dislike is the battery mounts that they give you. They say it's for quick release functionality, which you can see that right there. You're supposed to be able to just put it on the drone, twist it off and pull, but it's actually not quick. It's just release functionality and it's super annoying. So I'd much rather use a battery strap. The third thing that I dislike is the placement of the cage right here that's holding the O3 Air Unit. The SD card slot is right here, and when I put the SD card in, I accidentally snapped this part right here. So I don't know why they put that over the SD card slot, but it's honestly quite annoying, and as you can see, I did kind of glue it back, but yeah, it's annoying. But maybe that's just me being an idiot. Could very well be the case. But other than that, I think this drone is really fun to fly. And if you're into FPV for commercial use or real estate, I really think you should pick this up. But what do you think about it? Do you have it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you rate it on a scale from 1 to 10? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Catch you later.